This programme is brought to you by vinny.co.uk.
Welcome back to the Champions League pool here on Free Sports. Stephen Jameson and Simon Webb still with you for the group of death, that is Group 8 here in the Champions League. Michael Hill and Declan Brennan off to winning starts, which means Dylan Leary and Shane Thompson have a little bit of work to do. Still all to play for, of course, still early stages, Simon, but this feels like the type of group where you don't want to be coming from behind at any point.
Yes, you really don't want to have to be chasing it. You want to be out there in front. But I would say that this is one of those groups where we could see, a lot of the different variations of scores, and we could see a bit of chopping and changing at the top of the table. So we'll see how the night unfolds. But it is going to be big pressure on Dylan and Shane in this next match.
Yeah, absolutely. We can head out into the arena now. Match number 3 about to get underway. And they are. These are the odds at the start of the night for Dylan Leary and Shane Thompson. Shane the slight favourite. Dylan was the group's outsider coming into this game, and into this night rather. But showed in the first game he's got plenty of talent and plenty of ability. His record speaks for itself as well. Bells are ringing out in the arena. Feels like New Year's Eve.
It's fair to say that, just going back to Dylan, he didn't miss a pot in that opening match. He didn't really make a mistake. It was, I think, a half a positional error, and the break didn't really work for him, but he didn't do a huge amount wrong.
Oh, that's tough to take.
Yeah, break's still not working for him. Tough start.
When we say the break wasn't working for him in that first frame, first match rather, it wasn't like he was breaking badly. The splits he were getting were brilliant. Just came up dry quite a bit, and that's a horrible kick. It's going off like that is just one of those unexplainable ones, really. And Shane would love to have had several moments from his match for Michael Hill back, but as it is, he gets to get straight back, hand on table, and start to put maybe a couple of things right. He'd have been frustrated, I'd imagine, not to have taken anything out of that match, but now here's his chance to exact some kind of revenge and get his name climbing that group table.
It's the opportunity you'd want, though, if you've just had a match that you've had go against you, and especially a match in the way that it was very scrappy, and he would have felt like he could have got something out of it. You want an opportunity like this where it's wide open, he can just work his way through the balls, and it's a finish he knows he should take out. Just has to be careful when he plays this plant that the red doesn't come away and get awkward. Yeah, no danger of that. Played it very well. And the simple 8-ball completes the reverse dish. Just what Shane Thompson wanted after that opening match going against him, and exactly what Dylan Leary didn't want. That break where he was very unfortunate to be kicked into the centre pocket, and all he's had to do from there is sit and watch the punishment as his opponent cleared up. And we can find out what Michael Hill thought of that first match, as he's now with Stephen Jameson.
Yeah, Michael, congratulations on the win in that first match. It was one that you really, really had to grapple for.
Yeah, it was a real grind. I guess everybody knows it's a tough group and you're trying to get off to a good start. A new format for everyone. The shot clock's really intimidating. It's right on top of you, far quicker than what you think when you're watching previous weeks at home. And yeah, just kind of got away with one a bit there. If if I looked a bit rusty, that's probably about the right call, to be honest.
Yeah, we thought as well, there was we've seen it with a few of the players on this lovely new table out in the arena, that the pace of the table seemed to catch you off a couple of times as well. Was that a fair comment?
Well, the first frame especially, I mean, I've played on this equipment long enough, particularly when you got the TV lights. I know how slick the cloth plays. A backspin shot really is just a middle ball stun shot. Caught me out the first frame. When I played a fairly good finish, to be fair, fairly controlled. And yeah, I should know better really. There's no excuses there. I've hit too low on the white. I've overdrawn the ball. A little bit tight in the arm, thinking I want to get hold of the white. I didn't want to snooker myself, and in doing so, I've drawn the white too far back, and then it was a bit of a hit and hope fest after that, really.
Well, you're speaking about a bit of a hit and hope fest. I don't think the long double you played on that yellow was much of a hit and hope. It was what you had to play, but a real sort of highlight reel shot from you to get the win in that frame, which ended up being the winning one. Yeah,
I kind of, it's one of them. I look back on that frame now and I think, I've kind of gone game a little bit blasé, really. I've no real need to. But again, the shot clock's on top of you. You're scrambling to think of things. Covering pockets in these rules isn't really any help to you. It can be, but often not. It can actually be worse. And that game was one of those sort of, I'm going to play this double kind of 50 times. Is it my night? Is it going to go in? Or am I going to miss it by, 10 foot? Fortunately for me, it went in.
And in terms of the rest of the night, is that a game which obviously you've taken a win from, which will feel with the confidence, but now you've got that first game under your belt with the clock, the setup, the rule set, all of it, that feel now that you're in the tournament, as it were, and you can move on from here with a bit of confidence?
Well, as I said, the first match is obviously big. Everyone knows that Shane's a class player, but they're all class players in the group, and I don't know how much time Dylan Leary has been putting in. What with all the COVID and everything that's going on, I know Declan and Shane put a lot of time in, and they play a lot of the online challenge matches. So going into the group, that's not to discard Dylan, because I don't know how much he's been playing, but with the knowledge that I had, I felt like Declan or Shane was maybe favourite, and I've maybe kind of given the favourites mantle on previous performances, really. On current form, yeah, I kind of liked maybe Declan or Shane on the information that I had. If Dylan's been putting loads of time in as well, of course, then in my mind I'm maybe the outside of the group. So I'll plug away and I'll keep going. And a big game against Declan next. If I can get the win next, then that puts me in a great position. But he's playing some really good pools, so we'll see.
Yeah, we can't wait to watch that one. Congrats on the win, and slides back to you. Cheers.
Oh, great interview there from Michael Hill, but also a great visit to the table so far from Dylan Leary. But two big shots to come in the context not just of this match but of the night for Dylan. Two very tough pots, but the positional side of it is there for him. Oh, he gave the pocket every chance. Thought he'd missed it. He did catch the rail on the way down, but pace has allowed it to drop. And this 8-ball for a nice counter clearance. Tie the scores up. Brilliant stuff from Dylan Leary. Great counter clearance, and he is up and running in this match.
Well, how's your nerve? Hey, back in the commentary box, having just spoken to Michael Hill and witness Dylan Leary play two hold your nerve shots down the rail. Those took some cueing, and 1-1 on the scoreboard, and he'll be delighted to get on that scoreboard as well, because whilst he put up a fight, at least in terms of the scoreboard against Declan, it didn't feel like we saw much of Dylan in that first match, and good chance here for him to put that to rest. Yeah,
what we did see from him in that first match was good. He made a really good finish from the break. It's just he didn't get the opportunities that Declan did, and the break let him down, and let him down at the start of this match as well. He needs to find although I say it let him down, he hit a great break to start this match. He needs this break to go well as well, and earn the opportunity for a first visit chance of his own, and see if he can get in front. But he hasn't missed a pot yet tonight. He hasn't really made any mistakes, maybe half a positional error is about it.
Those are the margins in a group like this, though, aren't they?
Well, he doesn't catch this break anywhere near as well as the first one. Maybe because of the first one going in, he's just pulled that break back a fraction. maybe a little bit timid compared to his previous breaks. And
he's definitely taken something off.
Yeah,
You can see it in slow motion for sure.
But the previous break he hit so well. He made a ball, and unfortunately he made the cue ball, but it got kicked in off. It wasn't lack of control that it went in off. So surprised to see that Dylan's done that. Well, Shane had the first chance in the last frame and got himself in a mess very, very quickly. First chance in this one. One problem to solve at the bottom of the table, but he's got enough balls around it that you feel he's going to have a good chance to solve it, although he hasn't come as far down the table as he wanted to. Can't see the one over the pocket, and he actually wanted to be on an angle on one of the ones further down that he could play the plant and developing shot at the same time. Well, that's what he's tried to do, but all he's managed to do is nudge it a little bit more safe, but at least he has an angle when potting this red to open them both up again. Not guaranteed to finish on the next ball, though.
But he has come out all right, yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
He was trusting himself a little bit to luck there. Those balls never quite know exactly where they're going to run, but that's come out lovely for Shane. Just needs 2 more shots and he's back in front in this game. Heard from Michael in the second frame there, spoke to him, and he mentioned a win against Declan would really set him up pretty well in that next match for a chance to move through. And it's almost the opposite for these two now, having already taken a defeat in this group. They can't afford to lose again. It's almost an elimination match. Not necessarily, I don't think, but it's really, really tough to go into this match having already lost your first. It's difficult to chase in this tournament, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, what we've seen.
We've seen that all the way through. I haven't really looked at the statistics, actually, but I don't think we've seen anyone who hasn't won their first match go on and make it through. Of course, in a round-robin group, they could all beat each other and it could all end up very tight at the end, but you are right, the loser of this match is, well, I think they're out, aren't they? So the winner has still got a chance. A draw would be, wouldn't put either of them out, but it would be disastrous, really. It's very hard to get back in if you can only make 3 points on the night.
Yeah, it's a must-win for both. That's a hammer of a break from Shane. Best one he's hit all evening. This is what he's been waiting for. Struck that beautifully.
He's hit the break a lot better in this match than he did in his match with Michael Hill.
Yellow balls in play.
He gets first opportunity again. I think that's 4 straight frames he's had first opportunity in this match. He's taken 2 of them. 2 reverse dishes so far. He's looking at a plant here. It's just if he plays the plant, he's got to be careful where the yellow he's hitting goes. Doesn't want that to go and tie itself up with a red. I'm not sure if it has or not. I think there is just about room for that. Yeah, you can see from that camera angle clearly the yellow goes. So excellent stuff from Shane. A couple of really good little developing shots, played with control and frame at his mercy.
And this would take him one away.
Well, that's not great. He's just probably going to have to accept a trickier 8-ball than he wanted. Just drop this in and leave a cutback 8-ball. If you try and go in and out of the bottom end of the table, you could get in more of a mess. Yeah, he's just going to accept more distance, but still an 8-ball he'll definitely expect to make.
This to go 1 from home in a must-win match for Shane Thompson. And the safecracker is looking to get out of this particular problem that he finds himself in. Dylan Leary now is really up against it. Let's remind ourselves of who we can expect to see in the later stages of this competition. It's what we've already seen so far in the Vinny.co.uk Champions League. Josh Kane came through the opening night back in December. Aaron Davies then did the same a week later. Then in the new year, Phil Harrison got through his group. Neil Raybone came through the other group of death, getting the better of John Rowe, Brian Halcrow and Jordan Shepherd. Just look at the names that are thrown into this second stage. Sean Storey then got through his group. Dave McNamara put on a really good performance to get past Craig Lake and Carl Sutton and Tony Blount. Chris Melling then took out Gio Edgar, Mike King and Hitan Patel. And then we're left with tonight. And the good thing is whoever qualifies tonight, absolutely pick any one of the 4 names, doesn't matter. The second stage of this tournament is set up to be a barnstormer. Just can't not be.
It really is. I mean, the 7 names we have through already, and guaranteed another great player to come through tonight. It's a great lineup for the quarterfinals, and had a few people messaging me on social media asking the format of that next stage, and it is another group stage. The quarterfinals will be played in the same round-robin format, but the top 2 from the group will go through to the finals night.
Yeah, which keeps things a bit more open, and also throws up the extra potential for more shootouts as well. Because, say for example, in this scenario here, you could lose your first 2 matches and still have a little hope of coming in second place and qualifying.
Yes, I think we're much more likely to have a 6-red shootout at some point in the 2 quarterfinal stages that we have.
Well, that's a great shot from Dylan there to pot the yellow, but his big error there was canning the red up to the 8 ball. He's now got a lot of work to do. He's not got an easy next shot. He needs to free the 8 ball. As he's quickly running away from it, and he needs to find a route out. The double wasn't there. And now Shane Thompson has a great chance to put Dylan Leary out of the competition.
Dylan Leary is on the edge of being knocked out of this competition, and that is the first miss pot, if we're going to call a miss double a miss pot, that he has made tonight, which is quite incredible. He just hasn't had the chances. The chances he has had, he's done well with, but he hasn't had enough of them. In this match alone, Shane's had 3 finishes from the break. And in Dylan's first match, Declan had 2 off the break as well. So it's just tough school, really, isn't it? It really is a good standard of players out there, a top standard of players. It's such a tough school.
Well, it's not the last shot he'll play in the competition, that's for sure. He's still got another match to play, but he's very much still in it here. He's back at the table, still not out of it just yet. Shane's put him in a snooker because he wasn't happy. Can Dylan pull a rabbit out of the hat? Oh, that's a good shot. That brings him much more into contention in this frame now. The only problem he'll have is it could elongate the frame too much. There's only 7.5 minutes left. Dylan needs to win 2 frames just to get a draw, which doesn't really suit either player.
Yeah, this is where you have to kind of forget your natural instincts as a pool player and play. You know, if this was a a normal non-timed match, he may play a very different way of going about trying to win this frame, really being a lot more patient, but he has to chase it here. He has to try and make something happen. Can't afford not to.
That's gone a couple of rolls too far. It's a lovely pot into the middle, but about 3 inches further than he wanted to be. 4-ball plan. That's what he played. Still not easy for Shane. That's the one thing that's keeping Dylan very interested here, is this is still very, very awkward for Shane Thompson. He might have an angle to go into the group now off this one, though.
But I was just thinking that if you are Shane, even if he does have the angle here, and he is going to try and be aggressive, but does he need to be? I mean, that's a great shot. I know there's a long time left in this match, but keep letting Dylan chase it, because it's not really going to be there for him. Yeah, don't blame him for that at all. Keep it as tight as possible. Make Dylan chase it, because Dylan is the one that has to make all the running. Shane would be happy if this frame lasted another 6 minutes and he wins the match 3-1. Frame difference doesn't make any difference.
Thought he might play this shot. This will take the pocket. Yeah, it's nicely played. But Shane's 2 reds at the top of the table are easier than Dylan's 3, I'd say. The one in the middle for Dylan's a real problem. I don't think it goes to either pocket right now. It's difficult for Dylan to win this frame. I think if Shane really wanted to, it'd be easier for him with the way his 3 balls lie.
Yeah, just the 8 ball would be Shane's biggest problem, but it's solvable. Oh, interesting decision now for Shane. Has the opportunity, if he wanted to take this in the centre, to get the cue ball into a nice area of the table for the 2 reds at the top. Oh, he didn't quite get into it enough. It's actually very close to going in off.
Yeah, that's quite a poor shot actually from Shane, uncharacteristically. He's just going to try and be a nuisance, which he has been. Both players watching that white trickle towards the corner pocket. Well, that's the situation. I think we talked about how Dylan's balls were maybe slightly easier, Shane's balls slightly easier. This is very, very even now.
Yeah, I really like the way Shane's playing this. It's not the most eye-catching ball in the world, but
this might help him though. Yeah, it's a great shot from Dylan.
He is just slowing this down. He's got 2-frame lead. Even if he was to lose this frame, you know, he still holds all the cards. Really keep making it difficult, and that's a lovely little result from as well.
He couldn't have played that shot better if he had wanted to. That's a lovely shot. Although that's not bad from Dylan Leary, goodness me. It's really good safety work.
Yeah, even if Shane doesn't get out of this snooker though, Dylan isn't, you know, got to remember with international 8-ball rules, you don't get that free shot, so you can't just develop the bad ball and then go game. You'd have to try and find an angle on his last yellow or his penultimate yellow to develop the other one, and it's just not guaranteed.
To that end, I'm slightly surprised to see Shane play the shot that way.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a good snooker, but it has freed up Dylan's other yellow.
Yeah, I thought he'd go for the red in the middle of the table. Just make sure you get contact on that for that reason.
Well, Shane's got to go for this now because Dylan can pot.
Yeah, take the cut along the top cushion. It's a free shot, really.
It's a tough shot, though.
It's a tough shot, but if you miss it, you leave it over the pocket, and you're not going to be leaving Dylan a shot on yellows. Yeah, see how he's got the side on the ball to make sure it came back to the left-hand side of the table. Make sure you don't leave Dylan a pot on, and next time you come to the table, if you can see a red, you should have a chance to go game.
Well, he's looking to play the yellow off the yellow here, I think. This would be a Houdini-esque escape from this frame. What a shot that is. Where's the yellow? Has it come out kind for him? Yeah, that'll do. What a shot from Dylan Leary. He's going to have a chance to claw his way back into this Champions League group. Oh, with the chips are down, Dylan Leary has come up with something massive. That's a big, big clearance.
Yeah, that's a very, very impressive shot this is. Didn't really have that much control of where that last yellow was going, but deserved to be on it. The shot was so good to make his ball, and it gives him some hope. 3-2 behind, not much time left on the clock, but long enough.
Yeah, not a huge amount of time left on the watch at all, but you just want a chance. And obviously a draw's not the ideal result for either player, but I think if you're Dylan Leary and found yourself 3-1 down, you take what you can get out of the game more than anything else. For Shane, it'd be a sickener. Yeah,
absolutely. And although Shane will be annoyed that he's lost that frame, I think he won't be too disappointed because I think he played the frame in the right way. He dragged it out as long as possible. The only question mark is whether he could have taken that pot on full-blooded. He was almost not taking it on. It was more of a just drop it over the pocket and then play the safety at the same time. If the pot had dropped in, then great.
Well, really important break here for Shane Thompson. Needs to make a ball. Comes up dry, he's in trouble. He has made a ball. And in fact, that's a fantastic break. He's hit that beautifully. That's his best break of the night. He's broken much better in the second game. This is the best one he's hit all night long. That's a super break. Brilliant clearance opportunity for him. On either colour set, really. It's going to go reds, and they're all there.
Yeah, this is a great chance for him to wrap the match up. Red right in the middle of the table, just needs to make sure he leaves a nice angle that when he pots that, he's not going to get himself in trouble with position off it. I think if he plays for it for the left centre pocket, he should just be able to drift through the gap of the two yellows. And that's perfect. That is the perfect little angle. Just drift through the gap. He'll almost fall off the yellow, leave himself on the last red, and then it's one good positional shot onto the 8 ball with plenty of room.
Well, in a match that he had to win, Shane Thompson is very close to doing just that. And Shane Thompson has indeed done it. A tough one to take for Dylan Leary. Successive 4-2 defeats for him. But Shane Thompson gets over the line after a defeat in his opening match to stay alive in Group 8 of the Champions League pool. We've got Declan Brennan versus Michael Hill when we come back.
This programme is brought to you by Vinny.co.uk.